My fourth attempt to save the tragic supporting heroine. I still could not change her fate of dying for the male lead. After forcing a smile through the male lead's wedding, she resolutely took a knife and laid down in the bathtub. When I rushed home, tomato juice was running across the floor. Bai Ningbing raised her head and gave me a wretched smile. Teng got married. This time, I really cannot hold on anymore. But seeing him happy, I am so happy for him. Watching the color drain rapidly from her face, my eyes reddened. My voice trembled. What about me? At that, she gently closed her eyes. She left me with her final words. I am sorry. She did not know. I had already heard those words for times. But this time was different. This time, she was pregnant. Just last night, I had my hand on her belly. She gently kissed my ear. Honey, do you think our baby will be a boy or a girl? Sadly, that question would never have an answer. Amid the system's alarms, my world reset once again. When I opened my eyes again, 20-year-old Bai Ningbing was trapped in that familiar alley. Her school uniform had faded from washing, and her lip was bruised. Several delinquent girls with rainbow-colored hair surrounded her, shoving and cursing at her. Bai Ningbing did not fight back. Her gaze passed through the crowd and landed squarely on me. I had lived through this scene for times. The previous for times, I had rushed over and shielded her. I drove them off, then took her to treat her wounds. But this time, I did not move, because in my last life, I had accidentally read Bai Ningbing's diary. It turned out that, throughout this ordeal, all she had been hoping for was for Wang Dateng to appear and pull her from the mud himself, not for me to interfere. No wonder she was the tragic supporting heroine in a novel. She was born to revolve around the male lead. Even her youthful crush was hidden with painstaking care. The system blared frantically in my mind, urging me to complete the salvation checkpoint. I took a deep breath and finally stepped forward. The blonde-haired girl saw me and immediately sneered. Well, the lapdog is back again. You really think you are some hero? I ignored them. I walked straight over and crouched before Bai Ningbing. She looked up at me, not surprised, but understanding, as though she was certain I would save her. I reached a hand toward her, then picked up the stuffed flatbread by her feet. I brushed off the dust and took a bite. Luckily, it wasn't dirty. It was still warm. I had specially added fried egg and lettuce that morning. Bai Ningbing never ate breakfast. I used to bring her something different every day. As I chewed, I tipped my chin at the girls. Sorry, I gave this to the wrong person. Please, carry on. The only sound in the alley was me chewing the flatbread. Bai Ningbing finally froze. Her face slowly turned pale. She pressed her lips together and looked away. I did not look at her again. Holding the flatbread, I walked past. When she entered the classroom as the class bell rang, a large patch of her clothes was wet. Bai Ningbing glanced at me, her lips moving. I raised my book, blocking her from view. When I first accepted this mission, I chose what looked simplest, saving the gentle supporting heroine. The first time, I approached her as a friend. I stopped her drunk father from causing trouble at home. I paid her mother's medical bills upfront. I helped her through her darkest days. I watched her become a renowned scientist, step by step. The night before she was to receive her award, I went to see her with flowers. Instead, I received notice of her funeral. She left me only one sentence. I am sorry. But she left Wang Dateng a full 3-page letter. It not only blessed his new marriage, but also arranged his birthday gifts for every future year. Even gifts for Wang Dateng's future child's 1-month celebration were packed in boxes, each labeled with a date. I stood by her through her poorest years. I waited outside hospital rooms and paid her bills. At her celebration banquet, we did not even take one photo together. Wang Dateng had done nothing, yet he received her final devotion. The second time, she and I became lovers. Bai Ningbing truly was a good girlfriend. When it rained, she always tilted the umbrella toward me, leaving half her own shoulder soaked. When I had a fever, she watched the thermometer all night without sleep. When she felt unwell, I would go out at midnight for medicine and sweets, and warm her hot water bottle for her. We got married. On our wedding day, Bai Ningbing adjusted my tie. She was so focused, as if she had to smooth every crease. She said we would build a good life together. She would share countless dinners with me. She even registered my fingerprint in our door lock. I believed her. But not long after we married, I woke up one day to find the woman in my arms had stopped breathing. Her phone screen was still lit. On it was the marriage certificate Wang Dateng had just sent. Her drafts held dozens of unsent messages, all wishing him happiness. The third and fourth times were no different. The third time, I simply took her away from the city. I deleted every way to contact Wang Dateng. Bai Ningbing lived peacefully for several years. Then one day, she heard from an old classmate that Wang Dateng was engaged. She still left a letter of blessing on the table. The fourth time, I stayed with her through the wedding. I did not even dare let her close the bathroom door. Smiling, she told me she had moved on. That night, she even picked a nickname for our baby with me. I only went downstairs to collect a package. When I returned, everything was back where it started. Moments earlier, she had been asking what I wanted for dinner. The next time I saw her, because Wang Dateng chose Liu Ryan, she had once again left herself behind on the rooftop. I guarded against every trigger I could think of. Weddings, social media posts, birthdays, class reunions, even street corners where Wang Dateng might appear. Still, I could not stop her. Every time the world reset, only I kept all my memories. Bai Ningbing would become that girl standing at the alley entrance again, waiting for Wang Dateng to save her. Yet I had to walk the same road again, haunted by the previous life's funeral. The empty medicine bottle and her words, "I am sorry." The system always told me to try one more time, and I always believed that if I did just a little better, she would finally see me. After 4 times, I finally admitted it. It was not that I had not done enough. This time, I was truly exhausted. I could not save Bai Ningbing, and I did not want to try again. After class, our homeroom teacher rearranged the seating. When it was Wang Dateng's turn to choose, his gaze moved between Bai Ningbing and Liu Ryan. Bai Ningbing kept watching him, her fingers wrinkling the hem of her shirt. "I choose Liu Ryan." The moment Wang Dateng spoke, Bai Ningbing's hand froze halfway to the chair. The previous 4 times, I would immediately step forward and loudly say, "I choose Bai Ningbing." I protected what little dignity she had left. This time, I looked elsewhere. There was an empty seat beside Shang Xinci, the prettiest girl in school. I pulled out the chair and sat down. The noise woke her. She glared at me impatiently. "What is all that noise?" I ignored her, focusing on arranging my books. From the corner of my eye, I saw Bai Ningbing sitting alone by the window. The seat beside her remained empty. The bell had barely rung when she came to my desk. "Fang Yuan, why did you?" Before she could finish, Shang Xinci snatched my homework from the desk. "Fang Yuan, let me copy it. Hurry." Bai Ningbing suddenly stepped between us. She shoved her own homework into Shang Xinci's hands. "Use mine." Shang Xinci gave her a baffled look, then left with the notebook. Bai Ningbing remained where she was, as if waiting for me to press her for answers like before. I knew why she had intervened. In my past lives, whenever a girl came near me, Bai Ningbing would quietly block her. But when I mistook it for jealousy, she would seriously explain that she only feared it would affect the mission, and that she meant nothing else by it. I had heard those explanations far too many times. This time, I could not even be bothered to ask. I lowered my head and kept reading. When school let out at noon, she did not leave either. At meal times before, I would take out 2 lunch boxes and hand one to her. Her mother had been ill for years, and she had to work to support the family. I simply could not bear to see her go hungry, so I kept giving in. This time, I closed my book and tapped Shang Xinci's desk. "Did you not say you were treating me to lunch?" Shang Xinci paused for 2 seconds before remembering. She hurried after me. Before the classroom door closed, I saw Bai Ningbing still standing there. Her eyes were already red-rimmed. The next day, she waited for me as usual. I walked right past her, without even opening the lunchbox. She followed me for 2 steps, then forced herself to stop. On the 3rd day, she finally came to me on her own. "Let us go eat." I was just about to refuse, when Wang Dateng ran into the classroom, eyes red. Liu Ryan promised to go to the library with me, but she went to a competition again instead. Bai Ningbing immediately grew worried. She even held out a tissue to him. "Do not be sad. She may have had something urgent come up. I will go with you. I need to return some books anyway." One explained, and the other nodded. I stood beside them, like an unnecessary bookshelf. Fine by me. They had even saved me the trouble of refusing. I quietly slipped out of the classroom, closing the door behind me. In the hallway, Shang Xinci was leaning against the wall, waiting for me. She glanced at the closed door, then at me. "You used to spend every day glued to Bai Ningbing's side, didn't you? Did you to fall out?" "No, I just don't want to keep orbiting her." Shang Xinci did not press further. She tossed me half the bread she had just bought. Not long after, our class organized an outing. Shang Xinci talked about it all morning, before finally dragging me onto the bus. At some point, Bai Ningbing had sat beside me. Her cheeks were unnaturally red, and her forehead was covered in sweat. Not long after the bus set off, she gently tugged at my sleeve. "Fang Yuan, I feel dizzy. I can see that." She froze for a moment. Her voice gradually softened. "You used to prepare motion sickness medicine for me the last time I had a fever. You went out in the rain to buy medicine. When my stomach hurt, you would keep rubbing my stomach for me." My fingers clenched at once. Those things had happened in my past lives. So, Bai Ningbing remembered too. After mentioning her stomachache, her hand instinctively slipped into my palm. That was a habit left over from our second life. Once, she had curled up on the sofa in pain, and I had rubbed her stomach all night. After that, whenever she felt unwell, she would grip my wrist and refuse to let go. But in this life, we were clearly not close enough for that. I was just about to call the system, when the bus suddenly jolted violently. Someone up front shouted, "Rocks are falling from the hillside." The bus tilted to one side, and luggage and loose items came crashing down. Bai Ningbing, groggy moments ago, snapped awake. Her first instinct was still to throw herself toward Wang Dateng in the front row, shielding him from the impact with her body. As I was hurled toward the window, Shang Xinci cursed, then raised her arm to protect my head. "Desk mate." This time, You have to let me copy your homework all the way to graduation. Once the bus came to a stop, everyone got off one after another. Liu Ryan supported Wang Dateng, and not even his clothes were torn. But Bai Ningbing's arm had been cut. She could only sit by the roadside and tend to it alone. Shang Xinci had abrasions too. When she shielded me just now, her elbow struck a seat, and the pain kept her from lifting her arm. I brought over the bus first aid kit. First, I checked whether she could move her fingers, then rinsed the abrasions clean with water. I crouched before her and cleaned the wounds with a cotton swab. She kept gasping from the pain, but still reminded me not to back out of our deal. Bai Ningbing watched us the entire time. It was not as though she had no one beside her. Wang Dateng was standing nearby, but Liu Ryan called out just once, and he immediately turned to her. Bai Ningbing watched his retreating back, then looked at the gauze in my hand. When I stood, she finally called out to me, "Fang Yuan, I cannot bandage it properly with one hand. Can you help me?" I glanced at her wound. "Whoever you were hurt protecting, ask him to bandage you." The hurt in Bai Ningbing's eyes suddenly turned to delight. "Is it because I protected Tang Tang that you are jealous? He and I really are just. Whether you two are mother and son or husband and wife, it has nothing to do with me. Move, you are in my way." She froze where she stood. On the way back, Liu Ryan suddenly said 500 yuan was missing from the class fund. Someone suggested searching everyone's bags. Bai Ningbing instinctively clutched her old backpack tighter. When they emptied it, there was exactly 500 yuan in cash inside. She explained it was for her mother's medicine. No one believed her. In the end, she looked at Wang Dateng. "You know, I just got paid yesterday." But Wang Dateng shook his head in disappointment. "Ningbing, if you need money, you can tell everyone. How could you take the class fund?" Bai Ningbing opened her mouth, but no sound came out. I did not want to save her again, but I had no intention of pretending not to notice along with everyone else. So I pointed at the luggage rack. "Is that the stack you are looking for?" The actual class fund was wedged in the gap. The bus fell silent. Liu Ryan and Wang Dateng apologized one after the other, but Bai Ningbing only stared at me. She did not pick up the books scattered across the floor, nor did she take the 500 yuan for her mother's medicine. I bent down and picked up the money, then tucked it back into her worn-out wallet. Only then did Bai Ningbing snap out of it. She hurried after me. After we got off the bus, she caught up and grabbed my sleeve. "Fang Yuan, from now on, I will keep my distance from Wang Dateng. Let's make things work this time." I pulled my hand free and tore away the last veil between us. "Bai Ningbing, I remember everything, just like you. Everything that happened in our first 4 lives. I have not forgotten a single thing." Her hand fell away from my sleeve. The words, "Let's make things work this time," caught in her throat. If she had no memories, she could still claim she did not know what she had done wrong. But she remembered it all. She remembered how I begged her to stay, remembered the child who was never born, and remembered whom she chose every single time. All color drained from Bai Ningbing's face. She tried to explain, but Shang Xinci came running up from behind. She slipped right between us. "What secrets are you two whispering about? Let me in on it." I took the chance to leave with her. Bai Ningbing did not follow. She only stood there, her fingers clenched tightly around her freshly bandaged arm. From that day on, she began appearing in every corner of my life. After school, she followed about 40 feet behind me. Each morning, a bottle of warm milk appeared on my desk. Whenever it rained, an umbrella waited outside the classroom. There was always a note beneath the milk bottle. "It is getting colder today. Remember to wear more layers. Do not drink coffee on an empty stomach." My name was taped to the umbrella handle too, as though she feared someone else might take it. Bai Ningbing never waited for my thanks in person. She only watched from the end of the hallway as I took the things. All the careful attention she once gave Wang Dateng, she turned onto me. I returned the milk to her in person. "If you will not drink it, throw it away." She said it with her head lowered, then brought more the next day anyway. When I really put the milk back on her desk, she left it untouched all day, until the bottle went cold. On the 3rd day, the milk on my desk was replaced with the soy milk I usually drank. She thought I had merely changed my taste. In truth, I did not want to accept anything from her again. Things continued like this until the day of the big exams. After the first exam, I heard people talking. Bai Ningbing did not come. Her father had caused trouble again early that morning, and she was taken to the hospital. On this day in the previous 4 lives, I would wait outside her home ahead of time. But this time, Fang Yuan was not there to save her. Later, I heard that as they put her in the ambulance, she kept repeating, "Fang Yuan will come." When Shang Xinci heard the news, she asked whether I wanted to go to the hospital. I shook my head. She looked at me for a long time, but ultimately said nothing to persuade me. She only handed me her spare black pen. "Finish your exams first. We can deal with everything else later." I paused only briefly before entering the next exam room. Once all the exams were over, the system finally returned with the approval results. My request to abandon the mission had been approved, but the exit process still needed time. It gave me a plane ticket and some money, telling me to get away and clear my head first. Outside the exam hall, parents waited with bouquets for their children. At the edge of the crowd, I saw Bai Ningbing. Gauze covered her temple, and one arm was in a sling. The moment our eyes met, Her eyes lit up. She started toward me at once. I turned and disappeared into the crowd without looking back. That night, she sent me a long message. It began with an apology, and the middle was about our first lives. It ended with just one sentence: "Do not go." I did not reply. Before boarding the next day, that account sent another photo. It showed the pair of baby socks I had once given her. Bai Ningbing had kept them through for lives. I looked at it for a few seconds, then shut off my phone. I changed my number. The little time the system promised became 7 years. I finished university abroad and found a steady job. I built a life of my own. Xinci occasionally mailed me local specialties. Other than that, I had no contact with my past. There was always a note tucked into the boxes she sent. It never said she missed me. Instead, it mentioned what new shop had opened back home, which road had been renamed, and to dress warmly when it turned cold. Sometimes, I sent her a box of local snacks in return. Back and forth. Neither of us asked why the other had vanished for so long. I never expected to see Bai Ningbing again 7 years later. After she found me, she neither met with me nor explained herself. Instead, she had me abducted from the parking lot. I later learned that over those 7 years, she had completed her studies, taken over the research institute, and used every connection she could find to check my entry records, city by city. I had changed my number and moved homes, and never showed my face on public accounts. Yet Bai Ningbing used an old shipping box Xinci had sent to trace the neighborhood where I had once lived. She had not found me by chance. She had spent all 7 years doing it. When I woke, I was lying in a villa. A black electronic locking bracelet was fastened around my wrist. Its chain was short, allowing me to move only between the bedroom and bathroom. The system screamed in my head. Host. How did she become so twisted? The higher-ups had checked her several times. She always registered as a gentle, tragic supporting heroine. She had no obsessive, possessive streak. I rubbed the aching back of my neck. Someone who could end her own life for times for Fang Yuan. And you do not think she is obsessive enough. Your tests have never been accurate. The bedroom door opened. Bai Ningbing entered carrying a tray. 7 years on, she had shed the innocence of her school days. Her features were still gentle, but deep weariness weighed in her eyes. An assistant followed behind her, and 2 guards stood outside the door. This Bai Ningbing no longer needed anyone to save her. She had money and power, and enough patience to keep me locked here. She set the food on the bedside table, then reached out and touched my face. Fang Yuan, I looked for you for 7 years. Every city, every country. I never gave up. I turned my head away. You found me. Then what? Her fingers stopped in midair. I want to explain. I was wrong before. I was irresponsible. I never saw you. So locking me up now is your idea of making it up to me. Bai Ningbing was left speechless. After a long time, she crouched beside the bed, her eyes red. Husband, I truly know I was wrong. I love you. Give me one more chance. That name caught me off guard. Then I laughed. If you love me, then tell me. The child we never got to have. Was it a boy or a girl? Bai Ningbing's expression shattered. She instinctively covered her lower abdomen. Her choked voice was barely audible. I am sorry. Back then, I was not fit to be a mother. Whenever I think of that child, I wish I could go back and stop myself. Fang Yuan, let me spend my life making it up to you. Please. I closed my eyes and did not answer. Whatever. In 3 days, I would leave this world for good. For the next 2 days, Bai Ningbing granted my every request. She remembered all my preferences. Every dish she made was my favorite. A white tea-scented diffuser sat in the room. If I wanted water, she poured it at once. If I wanted fruit, she washed and sliced it. She even placed the fork within reach. I deliberately asked for something unavailable in this country. She vanished for hours. Yet that night, it was on the table. But she absolutely refused to remove the black wristband. Just wait a little longer. Whenever I mentioned it, she avoided my gaze. Once I know you will not disappear again, I will let you go. Every night, she held me from behind. She repeated my name over and over. During the day, she worked in the study. The wristband vibrated every 10 minutes, sending my location to her phone. If I left even a little too much food, she changed the menu that night. If I could not sleep, she sat by my bed reading documents. She forced herself to stay with me until dawn. She turned making amends into an airtight net, yet never once asked whether I still wanted to stay by her side. I never responded. On the final night, Bai Ningbing whispered Fang Yuan in my ear again. I was silent for a moment. Go to sleep. Her body went rigid. Then she held me tighter. Soon, my pajama collar was soaked. Bai Ningbing thought I was finally willing to return to her. She did not know the system was counting down the final day. On the 3rd afternoon, Bai Ningbing's phone rang. The caller ID showed Wang Dateng. She answered by the window, her back growing stiffer. On the other end, Wang Dateng tearfully said he was getting married. He hoped she could attend the wedding. Bai Ningbing's first words were congratulations. Her second question was when and where. What gift does Liu Ryan like? She asked as if she had done it countless times. She did not even look back at me once. After hanging up, Bai Ningbing stood there for a long time. I leaned against the headboard without urging her. Minutes later, She had booked round-trip flights. She would leave today, attend the ceremony, then return 2 hours later. Further down the booking page was a wedding gift payment she had just made. The amount was not extravagant, but it was exactly what she had prepared for Wang Dateng in the previous lives. Bai Ningbing came over holding her phone, as if afraid I would misunderstand. She deliberately showed me the booking page. Husband, Teng is getting married. I am only going to make an appearance. I will be back soon. Go ahead. I will not leave. I will wait for you to come back. She had not expected me to agree so readily. Instead, she hurried to explain. I will only be gone 2 hours. Look, I have already bought the return ticket. I will definitely be back tonight. She spoke as she packed her things. She did not remove the wristband and locked the door again. Dinner was in the warming pot in the kitchen. Water and medicine sat beside the bed. Bai Ningbing even lowered the room temperature. She was afraid I would feel stuffy in my sleep. She arranged every minute that followed for me, yet still chose not to stay. Before leaving, Bai Ningbing left a note beside my bed. Husband, wait for me to come back. We will start over. The instant the door closed, the system's prompt sounded right on time. The exit channel is open. Host, you have 3 hours to say goodbye to this world. No need to wait. Send me away now. The system hesitated unusually. Are you sure? You still have 3 hours. I am sure. I do not want to stay 1 second longer. As Bai Ningbing's plane soared through the clouds, my body began dissolving into specks of light. I deliberately had the system make my departure look more gruesome. With the pain block, all that remained was a bedsheet stained red with tomato juice, and a body that would never wake again. I admit it. I had selfish motives. The system asked whether I regretted it. I looked at the note beside the bed, start over. Then I turned it over. Over for lives. I had written by Ningbing far more notes than this. Remember to take your medicine. Food is in the pot. I am waiting downstairs. Do not be afraid. I will come. She had read them and kept them. But when it came to Wang Dateng, none of those words meant anything. I simply no longer wanted to be the one always waiting for her return. I had watched Bai Ningbing leave again and again. I wanted her to experience it too. What it felt like to be the one left behind. At the wedding, she had been restless from the moment she sat down. She sent over a dozen messages but received no reply. Her calls went from unanswered to switched off. At last, she could not sit still. She rushed out before the ceremony even ended. When she pushed open the villa's front door, the system streamed the scene before me. Bai Ningbing stood at the bedroom door, her hand still on the handle. She still clutched wedding candy in her hand. The red wrapper was crumpled by the sweat in her palm. 2 hours earlier, she had wished Wang Dateng a happy marriage before everyone. 2 hours later, she had not even made it back for a final goodbye. The note by the bed remained untouched. The black wristband had deactivated and fallen beside the carpet. She dragged herself toward the bed. Step by step, she reached out to check whether I was breathing. Her knees gave way, and she collapsed to the floor. Fang Yuan, no, please. Bai Ningbing held that cold body in her arms. Her tears fell across my face. She called the police, then her private doctor. Once the call connected, Bai Ningbing could not give them a complete address. She could only repeat my name. When the doctor arrived to examine me, she clung to me and refused to let go. The doctor repeatedly told her it was too late. Only then did she slowly release me. I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. She pressed my hand to her cheek. She wept so hard she could not form whole words. I had seen this scene far too many times. On that rooftop before, I had held onto her just like this, begging her not to take another step. But Bai Ningbing had only smiled at me, prying my fingers away one by one. Now, she finally knew how that felt. The system shut off the feed. Before the screen went black, I saw her pick up the black wristband from the floor, the thing she had used to keep me from running away. Now lay quietly in her palm. Departure from the mission world complete. Host, welcome back. Without resting, I immediately accepted a new mission. This time, I carefully chose an entrepreneurship story. A self-made businessman, starting from nothing, rising all the way to an industry titan. What a lousy redemption mission. I never wanted to touch one again. In the new world, I was busy negotiating deals, building products, and expanding markets. Every morning began with reports and meetings. There was no romance mission progress, no waiting for Wang Dateng, and no red behind a bathroom door. For the first time, I realized that all 24 hours in a day could belong to me. My company grew from 3 people to 300. My name appeared on industry magazine covers. The mission progress soared too. A story about a man rising to the top was far more interesting than romance. One day, I was reviewing quarterly figures when the system suddenly appeared. Host, something happened to Bai Ningbing. Without looking up, what? Does she not want to live again? It is even more outrageous than that. The system told me. After Bai Ningbing cremated that body, she put the ashes into a custom glass urn and carried it with her every day. She also gathered every photo I left behind in the First for Worlds, videos, and everything I had used, and locked them all in one room. Wang Dateng went to see her. The moment he mentioned the wedding, Bai Ningbing had her assistant return his wedding gift in full. Wang Dateng asked if she regretted attending the wedding. She did not answer. She only shut the door. Bai Ningbing did not even let him in. She only said, "Do not disturb Fang Yuan and me." I took a sip of coffee. She was obsessive to the bone. The system was about to continue when the office alarm suddenly went off. I looked up at the floor-to-ceiling window. A familiar figure stood below. Bai Ningbing. She had truly followed me into a new world. Even more absurdly, she still cradled that glass urn in her arms. More than 10 floors apart, I could not see her expression, but I saw one hand shielding the urn, while the other kept calling me. The front desk soon put through an internal call. "President Fang, there is a Ms. Bai downstairs. She says she is your wife." I hung up. She is mistaken. We have not been husband and wife for a long time. Bai Ningbing had lost a great deal of weight. Her suit hung loosely on her. Her face was frighteningly pale. Yet, when she looked up at me, her eyes shone brilliantly. The system stammered in panic. How did she get here? Apparently, she sacrificed half her lifespan, then used every research resource in her original world to forcibly tear open a passage. I looked away and pressed the intercom. "Tell management to move up the acquisition plan. Bring every document to my office within 10 minutes. The system grew even more anxious. "Host, are you not going to hide? She is already inside the building. What is the rush? Settle this world's mission points first." The system announced an S-rank evaluation. I closed the file and stood. "Send me to the next world." As white light flared, the office door was thrown open. Bai Ningbing stood outside, her outstretched hand only half a meter from me. She called my name. Her cry was nearly drowned out by the transfer static. Still, she was one step too late. "Go on. Chase me." I wanted to see how much life she had left to sacrifice. After that, in every new world, Bai Ningbing would do everything she could to follow me. Sometimes she arrived years late, sometimes only days. The first time she followed me, she relied on laboratory equipment. The second time, the system had just arranged my new identity. When I found a bottle of warm milk at my door, a note was tucked beneath it. "Do not drink coffee on an empty stomach." The handwriting was exactly like it had been in school. The third time, she did not show herself. She only had someone send the baby socks that were never worn. I returned them unopened. The fourth time, she finally stopped sending things. She simply sat quietly below my office. When I left work, she only rose and asked, "This time, can you let me finish?" I did not stop. I never waited for her. The system sometimes pitied her. Bai Ningbing had given up her lifespan, career, an entire fortune. Maybe she truly knew she was wrong. I asked the system only one thing. If Wang Dateng had called again that afternoon, would she still have left? The system fell silent. It was not that I needed Bai Ningbing to repay anything. Her belated choice simply had nothing to do with me anymore. Between missions, I returned to the old world twice to see Shang Xinci. The first time was for her wedding. I quietly sat in the last row. The prettiest girl in school, who used to hunch over her desk copying homework, who still remembered to make me repay her favor even in danger, stood on stage in a wedding dress. She was so nervous she crumpled her bouquet. When the ceremony ended, she spotted me at once. Lifting her skirt, she ran over. "Fang Yuan." She pulled over her new husband and eagerly introduced me. "This is the deskmate I always tell you about. Back then, my homework survived entirely because of him." Her husband smiled and offered me wedding candy. The little bag held to pieces. Shang Xinci feared I would come alone, so she packed an extra one. She urged me to give it to someone I liked. I unwrapped both pieces. I ate one and stuffed the other back into her hand. "Do not waste it." Shang Xinci rolled her eyes. Then she turned and fed the candy to her husband. "Xinci always talks about you. She says you went abroad." Without even leaving her an address, I accepted the candy and watched Shang Xinci smile from ear to ear. I suddenly remembered the bus accident. Her arm trembled from pain, yet she still stood before me, shouting that I had to lend her homework until graduation. Now she had found her own happiness. Good for her. The second time I returned was for her baby's 1-month celebration. The little one lay in the crib, blowing bubbles. Shang Xinci fumbled with the bottle. She complained this little tyrant was hard to handle, but could not bear to look away. The moment the baby cried, her husband ran out from the kitchen, expertly taking the child and soothing them. Shang Xinci finally had a free hand. She served me a bowl of hot soup. "Drink up. I saved this especially for you. You never ate meals on time as a child. You must be even worse now." Holding the bowl, I did not argue. At the bottom lay a piece of tender stewed meat. It was the piece she used to fight me for at every meal. "What about you?" As she burped the baby, she asked me, "Are you still drifting around alone? Have you not met anyone suitable?" I nodded. I hung the traditional longevity locket I had brought beside the crib. I had lived 5 lives in that world. In the first 4, all I could see was Bai Ningbing. In those first 4 lives, I never truly noticed those around me. Only in the 5th did I become friends with Shang Xinci. She knew nothing about the system, or what I had been through. She only knew I did not like going home. So each year she sent to boxes of local specialties abroad. She only knew I had no family. So for her wedding and her baby's 1-month celebration, she saved me a seat at the very front. I never told her my exact schedule, yet she always saved me a chair. If I came back, that chair was mine. If I did not, the wedding sweets and the baby's 1-month gift would be boxed and mailed out. Before I set off again, Shang Xinci saw me off at the airport. She fussed over me the entire way. Take care of yourself out there. Call me if anything happens. Do not skip meals because you are young, and stop working overtime. If you meet someone suitable, do not be too picky. Give it a chance. All her little nagging remarks filled the void of growing up without family. Just before I entered security, Shang Xinci suddenly called out to me. Fang Yuan, no matter where you are, take good care of yourself. Call me if anything happens. Our deskmate friendship will last forever. She made me laugh, and I waved to her. Got it. After the plane took off, clouds filled the window. The system asked where I wanted to go next. Anywhere, as long as Bai Ningbing is not there. Because I knew that no matter which world I entered, there would always be somewhere where someone sincerely wished for my happiness.